This is your lecture over topic 9.2. We're going to talk about adding and subtracting radical expressions. This goes with your assignment number 19. The first thing we need to learn and go over, which is not really in the notes, is comparing or deciding if the radicals are like terms. Okay, just like whenever we learned about like terms with variables, I'm going to turn this over and just kind of go over that. When we took like 2a plus 3a, we called those like terms, and we did just add the numbers in front of the variables and said that was a 5a, or subtracted. Remember, if we had something like 2a squared plus 3, those were not like terms, so we could not combine them. And with radicals, it's very similar. If you have a radical or a square root of 2 plus 3 square roots of 2, those are considered like terms because they have the exact same square root. They have a 2 underneath that radical. So I want you to think of it kind of like the variables. Also, something that's similar compared to when we were combining like terms when it was with a variable is if you don't see a number in front of the radical, there's also an understood one, just as if it was like, the letter A plus 2a. We remember that there was an understood one there, and we could add the numbers out front. So that's just a little introduction. We could say 1 plus 3, those are the numbers out front, is 4, and then we keep the radical exactly the same. If I were to say 3 plus the square root of 2, those are not like terms. This is a whole number and this is a radical. So you could not combine them. You would just have that expression, just like up here that we went over. Since these were not like terms, your answer would have been that expression. So if you turn over, notice in the top, I wrote a couple other examples. We'll do that again. These are already like terms because this has the square root of 2, okay? So I can add these together. Again, remembering that this has an understood 1. So we're really just adding the numbers in front, which is 5, and we keep the radical the same. Sometimes you might have a variable underneath the radical. As long as it's the same exact variable, you can subtract these numbers out in front. So 7 minus 2 is 5. And then we just have like the square root of y. Okay, so again, first we just need to understand what a like term is when we're dealing with radicals, which means they have the same exact radical. They have the same radicand. Remember, that's the number that's underneath, and it's the same like square root. Something else which you shouldn't see really, but just so that you know, if you have the cube root of 2 plus the square root of 2, those are not like terms because this is a cube root and this is a square root. So you couldn't combine those either. But for the most part in this unit, you should never see that. That's just extra information so that you understand what a like term is. So when we're adding and subtracting radicals, you need to simplify each radical first. And remember, you can go through the long way of doing that if you don't have the TI-30XX calculator. And remember, that's just saying, is there a perfect square in there? Like for 8, I could take 4 times 2, and I stopped there because 4 is a perfect square number, okay? And I can say the square root of 4 is 2, so I get to bring that out in front, and you would leave the square root of 2 underneath because we couldn't simplify that. It stays underneath that. Plus the square root of 32. You may or may not be able to quickly see that underneath there, 16 times 2 is 32. And I went to that because 16 is the biggest perfect square number that can go into 32 evenly. So we say plus the square root of 16 is 4. So we simplify that square root and bring that out front, and we can leave the 2 underneath. Then we can look and see, are these like radicals? Which they are. 2 and 2 are the same. So we're just adding 2 plus 4 is 6, square root of 2. However, hopefully you have this calculator, because all of these will be square roots, so you don't necessarily have to do it manually like we learned in 9.1, to go over the lesson on how to simplify radicals. You do have to do it manually when it's like a cube root or a fourth root, but square roots, if you have this calculator, it does it for you. So what we could have done is said, what's the simplified version of the square root of 8? So remember, to find the square root, we can use the square root button here. We would not use the x square root because that's like a different root, like maybe the third root or something. We're not doing that. So we can just use this button. So remember, you have to hit second first and then your square root button. And you can type in 8 and click enter, and it simplified it for me. So this unit, really, you can do a lot of calculator work if you have this calculator. If you don't, you're creating, in my opinion, a lot extra work. It is good knowledge to know how to do it as a foundation. But then if you know that your calculator can help you get through it quicker, that's also not a bad thing. So the square root of 32 simplifies to 4 square roots of 2. Then you can see that they're like terms, and you can add those numbers and get 6 square roots of 2. Technically, you could tell your calculator to add that, the square root of 8 plus the square root of 32, and it's going to take it directly to the answer. I would really like for you to practice, go ahead and writing this step, simplify each one. But again, obviously you're doing it on WebAssign. I don't know if you do this step or not. So technically, like I kind of said, really your calculator, if you're using it 100%, it can do all of this for you. If there's a number out in front of a radical, when we simplify it, I'm going to do one more where I'm breaking it down without the calculator. When you simplify it, whatever you pull out, you're going to have to multiply it times that. So for like 18, I know I can take 9 times 2. And the square root of 9 is 3. So it's like I'm taking 2 times 3, and I would leave that 2 underneath. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. And then we have the square root of 2. And then 128. Let's look here. Honestly, I can't remember exactly what the perfect square root number is. It's 64. So I say plus 5. And then underneath, if I take 128, if I take 64 times 2, that's 128. So again, I just did it like that because I know 64 is a perfect square number. The square root of 64 is 8. So I'd be multiplying what's out in front already by that. So I would say 5 times 8 is 40. So we have 40 square root of 2. So it's really not that difficult to do it manually. It just takes a little extra time. These do have the same square roots of 2, and so 6 plus 4 is 46 square root of 2. Also, there are times where your calculator may not simplify the radical. Like if it's a big number, sometimes it only goes so far in simplifying it. So you do need to kind of have some basic knowledge of that. Again, I don't know if this would have simplified it left to right for you if you typed it in just like this. Let's go ahead and just see. And it looks like it would have. So I think it's really good, again, for you to simplify each one separately on your own. Practice that and then look to see if you can combine like terms and just go from there. I think it's a good habit. This assignment won't take you very long if you have the TI 30XS. So we could do this without our calculator. The square root of 9 is 3 minus 3 times the square root of 9 is 3. So this is like saying 3 minus 9. And so 3 minus 9 is a negative 6. Again, you can type that into your calculator and it's going to give you that answer. So the square root of 9, and then make sure you arrow out from underneath the radical though, if you're doing that. Minus 3 times the square root of 9 is negative 6. Again, just working with simplifying each radical so we can kind of get the idea, the foundation of this lesson. We're saying 5 minus square roots of 9. So this would be like saying 3 times 3. So we'll come back and simplify that in a minute. This is like saying the square root of 20. So 4 times 5 is 20, but we can simplify that. So we're saying 5 minus 3 times 3 is 9, plus the square root of 4 is 2, and you leave the square root underneath. You wouldn't want to stop there because we do have like terms right here, right? So simplifying this further, 5 minus 9 is a negative 4 plus 2 square root of 5. I can't combine all of those things because this has a radical and this does not. If you were to do this in your calculator, 5 minus 3, the square root of 9, arrowing out from underneath that square root of 9, plus the square root of 20, it's going to set it up for you. And notice they put it in a different order. WebAssign will take it in any order. It says 2 square roots of 5 minus 4. Okay, so let's just practice. What if we're not breaking it down each time? Let's say I'm showing my work, and I'm not going to go entirely left to right with it, but 8 square roots of 8 is 16 square root of 2. And then I have a minus sign. Let's see what 6 square roots of 32 would simplify to, which would be 24 square root of 2. So you can do it manually like we did the 4 above, but now I'm just showing you how you can do it each radical separate. 7 square roots of 2 cannot simplify any further. So since they all have the square root of 2, you could say 16 minus 24 plus 7, combining the numbers in front, is a negative 1. So I'm going to go ahead and write it with the 1, but remember, very similar to when we're working with polynomials, you know, if you had like a negative 1a, for instance, the 1 would then be understood. So really, it's in most simple form if you just say negative the square root of 2, like that. Again, you could see here 7 square roots of 5 can't simplify, so 7 square roots of 5. Let's look and see, does the square root of 20, which you have it above, but let's do it again in our calculator, it simplifies to 2 square roots of 5. And then minus 3 square roots of 80 simplifies to 12 square roots of 5. So I know this is similar to this up here if you're breaking it down on your own. If you have a number in front, whatever the square root was that you pulled out, which in this case looks like it would have been a 4. So 16 was the perfect square root that was within that 80. And then that's how the 3 became that. We were left over with a 5 underneath in the radical. Now we see that we have square roots that are the same. So you're just saying 7 plus 2 minus 12 is a negative 3. And then we keep the square root of 5 beside it. Again, just rehashing it one more time. Is it necessary to write this step? I would really like for you to. This is how you could show your work, even though I'm aware that you can enter this into your calculator from left to right and get from here to here. What if you make an error and you accidentally hit the square root of 25? I won't know that. I won't know why you got from here to here and it was wrong. So you would have had a calculator error entering it into your calculator wrong. If you go from here to here, and I see that if you had plugged into your calculator the square root of 20 is of 25 instead of 20, you would have had like a 5 here. So I would see that in this step, and it would help me give you partial credit for something that was just a minor error. Okay. So let's keep doing that. The square root of 48 is 4 square roots of 3 minus, we're taking 3 times, so we just type in 3 in our square root symbol, 12, and click enter. That simplified to 6 square roots of 3. So since they both have the square root of 3, we can say 4 minus 6 is negative 2 square roots of 3, and that's our answer. And then the final problem, negative 7 square root of 5 cannot be simplified, but we can say the square root of 20. We've done it a lot. You may memorize it. But let's go ahead and do it again. The square root of 20 is 2 square roots of 5. So plus 2 square roots of 5. So they have the same square roots, so negative 7 plus 2 is 5, and then we keep the square root of 5 there. Again, it's really important that you practice using your calculator. Where I've starred each one, I would really like for you to at least do that step on your own, whether it's work that you're turning in or not, to me to look at. That way, if you get one wrong and you're like, I don't know why, you can send me a picture of that and I can see where you might be making an error